Hello everybody, this is Too Tall. Today we're going to be looking over what I just got in the mail today. The KWA LM4 KR7. It's the newest edition of the LM4, which for those of you who don't know is a gas blowback airsoft rifle. Which means every time it fires, there's a bolt. It'll cycle back and forth, simulating recoil. And I'll touch upon that in a moment. I have not played a game with this gun yet, let me be very clear. The one airsoft video that I have up for gameplay, I used this, a KWA MP7. Some things about this that I like and I don't like. One, it's a gas blowback, so for indoor CQB it's great. Instant trigger response, very compact. Things I didn't like about it. The stock bolt was shooting 470 with a .2 gram BB. You can't play anywhere with that kind of FPS for a fully automatic or even semi-automatic airsoft gun. So I had to spend $50, or roughly $50, and get a CQB bolt, which doesn't even shoot sub 350. It shoots 370 to 380. Which that's not a big problem for my field because the field limits are 400 feet a second pretty much everywhere in Ohio, actually, I think. Oh, also, the trigger on this is terrible. Like, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see this, but the length of pull and the brake is where it meets that final resistance, and then you just pull a little bit and the hammer goes down. The brake's non-existent. It's super spongy. And it's got a very long trigger pull, so it makes fast shots very difficult. Also, the reset. You can't hear a reset because you actually have to let it go all the way. Like, you have to let go of the trigger and let it go all the way forward for it to reset. So fast response and fast follow-up shots, not very good. Other than that, I love the gun. It's absolutely fantastic. Mags haven't leaked on me yet. Magazines where the gas goes. Nothing's malfunctioned. Had a couple little hop-up quirks, but I think it just needed to be broken in. So first impressions on this bad boy. One, I love the key mod rail. I know that's pretty standard of me to say in the airsoft world. Oh, I love M4s with the key mod. But I really do. It's practical. You can actually like grip it properly on the front without it cutting your hands. It keeps the weight down. It's just a better system than a standard rail system. Okay, I love the fact as well that it came, I think I put that on right, with these sights, front sight, rear sight, and you can take both of them off and not sacrifice any integrity to the monolithic rail or the gun itself. On a lot of airsoft guns, you can't do that properly, especially things like G&Gs and things like that. I mean, you can, but it requires a lot of tech know-how that I don't know how to do. So I have shot this. Haven't used it in the game, but I have shot it. The recoil. This feels like the MP7. It feels like there's something kind of nudging your shoulder just a little bit. This, if I had to put it in firearm terms, I would say it's I want to say it's between a bit and a good bit stronger than a 10-22 fired in rapid succession. So, I mean, that's not a lot of recoil, obviously, but it's enough to throw you off aim a little bit. Which, that's its intended purpose. It is airsoft. It's not going to be a perfect training simulation, but it actually does come pretty close, I'm not going to lie. Like, everything on this functions like a real AR-15 would. Like, it's not cocked right. Well, it is cocked right now, actually. But if it's not cocked, you can't put it into safe. So once you charge it, you can put it in safe, just like on a real one. That is a super cool detail that they would include that. Everything on this is mil spec. You can use real steel pistol grips, rail systems, stocks like the Magpul one that I have on here. Just any externals for the most part, outside of receivers obviously, that you can use on a real AR-15, it'll probably work on this. Let's see. How I'm going to be running this for CQB games, depending on the CQB field, because I want to go to GamePod at some point, saving up a lot of money for that, is reflex red dot, UTG, magnifier on there for long range target acquisition and shots, as well as just normal CQB going through plinking at people. When I'm playing at my local field, I'm ditching the magnifier because that was $80. Whew, that was $80. It was expensive. I just dropped it. Thank God it didn't crack. I'll probably just be running the red dot. Everything on this just feels comfortable. I've never actually used a previous generation LM4, so I can't speak on how it compares, but I really like this. For something that comes stock like this, I like it a lot. Also, the trigger. So the trigger, I'm going to see if I can put this in the view of the camera, but there's no sponge, and then the brake. I cannot tell you how important it is that they have that brake for those semi-automatic shots. Now on full auto, when you do that, it's just spongy. But that's alright, because I don't use full auto, especially not on a gun that has like I think it's like a 40 round magazine, something like that. So yeah, I will not be using full auto with this, especially because the full auto it's literally spray and pray full auto on this, because the recoil is just so much. It's like, well, I don't know what it's like, but it's enough to take you off aim, definitely. So it came with this standard crane stock, ditched it, Magpul stock. If you're going to get one of these, I recommend Magpul stock, just because this is a lot beefier than the Magpul stock. It's very minimalist, and you can get a really good cheek weld with a mesh mask, and you can look right down any optics that you want to put on there. Magazines. This magazine, so the MP7 magazine, great magazine. However, the problem is that the follower, it'll lock at the bottom here, but then you have to feed the BBs through these lips right here. And that's difficult. I think I've spilled more BBs trying to load these than I have actually put into the magazine. With the LM4 magazine, you just put that over it, load the BBs in through here, make innuendos, and load the BBs down. Didn't think that would happen. I really like the design of these. It's very heavy. You get 4 of these, put them on a plate carrier, you're going to be huffing and puffing. It's a little bit heavier than the MP7 magazine. I'd say maybe by about a pound. Like, it's enough to notice a solid difference, but it's not a huge difference, I don't think. I don't know the actual weight specs. I just know that this is heavier than this. So, as for range and accuracy, it's pretty good out of the box, actually. It is a gas blowback, so it's not going to be the most consistent thing in the world. But KWA did a good job with it, I think. They did a really good job with it, actually. Accuracy was on point to about 50 yards, which for a stock gas blowback, that's pretty good. I don't have the space to test it any further than that right now. The range was out to 50 yards as far as I could test, so that was good. Especially for a CQB style gun like this, I don't think you're going to be needing too much more range than that. yeah, that's about all I have to say for this. If you're thinking about picking one of these up and you have the money and you're not like a first time airsoft player, do it. If you want realism, I haven't tried many gas blowbacks. The MP7 was my first, but I adore this thing. I really, really love it. This is the most fun I've ever had just shooting an airsoft gun ever. It just puts a smile on your face. I handed it off to one of my friends who doesn't play airsoft, and even he just got this giant ass grin on his face. So that should tell you guys something. I'll see you later.